I am super excited about today's show. My friend Susan Dunn is on the show, and she is an absolute amazing human. We're going to talk about breath work. We're going to talk about the power of your own breath and how it can be and is transformative in the experiences that you have in your life. Susan is a body worker and has been in the healthcare field for over 35 years. She's actually recently become a breathwork facilitator after attending a transformational workshop that spoke to her soul, and now she is sharing that gift with the world. And she's just an awesome human. She is absolutely one of my favorite people. She is local here in Palm Desert. And so if you're a local person listening, you're going to be able to now connect with Susan. You probably already know her because she is such a rock star. So saddle up, guys, get ready. Susan and I are about to have an amazing chat that you are going to find so fascinating and so interesting. And at the end, we're going to give you some actionable steps on how you can use your own breath to create magic in your own life. All right, here we go. Hey, Susan, what's going on?
Hi, how are you?
I am doing awesome. Thank you so much for agreeing to come on the show today. We got so many cool things to talk about.
Thanks for having me.
You're absolutely welcome. So in the intro, you guys will hear all about Susan's awesomeness, but now you're going to get a deep dive into the who's, the what, the whys, and the hows, and all of that kind of stuff. First, I just want to start by saying I'm super proud of you for your new endeavor. And so tell us a little bit about the new business, and then we'll kind of get into the story of how it came to fruition.
All right. So, okay. So for the new business, I've been, a body worker for 35 years. So I actually started doing massage when I was a little girl. I was like 10 years old. So a gift has always been given to me of being very intuitive with people. So I went to this breathwork seminar, and it was really a profound experience, and seeing, all the transformations that were happening in the room just really spoke to my soul. And, Jay, when, that drive, or that when something touches you that deep, you just know that you have to do it. It's just, there's not an option. This is like a must do. So I started researching different people out there who were teaching it. And so I've been on like this year journey with my breath work. And then I went and got certified to become a facilitator. Awesome. And I have to tell you that it's really the most transformational work I've seen in my whole healthcare journey is the breath work.
That is so cool. Now, the first event that you went as a participant.
I did.
Okay. What was the draw? And I mean, obviously everybody has different reasons for going things, but were you like, you weren't just sitting on the couch one day and we're like, we go to a breathwork seminar. Like, how'd you get to that place?
I'm always trying to, different things. Right. Yeah. So it was just one of those things, I'm going to go and experience it and try it out. You don't know what you don't know, right? Yeah, until you try something.
And so you had such a great experience that you knew immediately while you were kind of in the moment of the whole process, like, this is something really cool.
That just clicked. Yeah.
Really cool. Now we're going to get to, guys, breath work and the different nuances and all of that stuff. But I want to talk a little bit about, so you 35 years been doing massage, body work, the whole 9 yards. You're local here to Palm Desert. I should have already said that. So most of you guys know that my physical location is Palm Desert. Susan is actually here. So we know each other just through communal interactions and all of those types of things. But so it's called Ailments in the Desert.
That's correct.
Okay. So Ailments in the Desert. And guys, we'll give you all the links and the ways to follow Susan and find Susan and do all of those kind of cool things. So let's get back to the breath work. So you're in this moment and you're like, I have to do this. So you have kind of your own experience, and then you leave and start like researching practitioners that can actually teach you and certify you how to do this.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Breath work is such an umbrella term. It's like fitness, right? So there's all these different types of breath work out there too. So we can dive into the type that I do. But, Jay, it's like I've been on this journey with energy medicine. So that's been over the last couple of years. And what I started realizing is that we have 5 elements in our body, or we call them rhythms or elements. So we have the fire, earth, metal, water, and wood. So each of those elements govern 2 organs.
Okay.
Okay, you have a yin organ and a yang organ. Okay, so each of those organs govern emotions. So if you're stuffing the stuff down all your life, you're going to start affecting those meridians and those organs, and then eventually you become ill. So that kind of like my journey with the energy medicine. And then when I went to the breath work, I'm like, I have to put these 2 together. Like this is like the easy way to clear out the nervous system is through the breath work.
Touch on the energy medicine really, just so that we can kind of get a bigger umbrella of what that looks like. Are you talking about like, because when you said like, you know, air and all those things like that, does that have anything to do with like your sign? Like if you're an air sign versus a this sign, or nothing of that nature?
No, it's all like Chinese medicine. So
Okay.
like, let's say, so like our liver or gallbladder. So liver, let's say you're kind of like, find yourself a little bit more, angry or something. Okay. Like a little bit, you know, you're driving and you just like tend to be maybe a little bit more impulsive like that. Right.
Okay.
Well, that would tell me that your liver meridian is being over energized.
Okay.
So by clearing that out, then I can calm down the liver, and that's going to calm that down.
Okay. So it'll make someone be less likely to have like an emotional outburst.
Exactly.
In that type of situation.
Calmer. Yeah. Like our liver is like anger and resentment. The lung is sadness and grief. Kidneys, fear and insecurity. Okay. So, but you know, so you have all these elements, and you have a yin and yang organ, and then each organ governs all these different emotions.
Okay. So when you're talking the yin and the yang, is like, if this one's clogged, is this one open, or are they both clogged at the same time, or how does that work?
It can be like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So you're really just trying to balance that out.
That's great. Right.
So
like
are we
bring the body more back into homeostasis?
Are we talking in the same terms of like, if somebody uses the word chakras, would that be kind of similar?
Similar. Yeah. So also with the breath work, you're also clearing out your chakras and kind of opening up that energy pathway, getting into the flow state, which, you know,
totally.
Awesome that can be.
Okay. Super cool. So you're now taking like all of your modalities, the body work, the energy work, and now the breath work, and just kind of like encompassing those into like an overall, I was going to say healing, or, you know, making well of the body, right?
Exactly.
Okay. Super cool. Yeah. So let's dive into the breath work. So you're at this event, you have this epiphany, and what was your experience with breath work before going to this event? Like, what was your knowledge level, and had you tried some breathing online? Did you watch a YouTube video? Nothing. So you're completely green. Okay, cool. Because I think most people would be, and that I'm glad you said that, because I think most people walking into that environment, it's like, I'm going to go to a breathwork event. Like, it's like, oh, so you're going to go breathe, you know? I think that's where,
right.
You know, that's kind of the conception.
I researched it online, and, you know, this breath work isn't the kind that, you know, you're sitting and meditating. This is, you know, it's a workout. And sometimes I have a hard time sitting and just meditating quietly. You know, my critic and my monkey mind get going. So this is a kind of easier way, because I can work out, you know, that's, you know, I can get into a breathing pattern, and then that's where the magic happens with this work. Okay. So the work that I'm teaching is called conscious connective breath work, or circular breath work.
Okay. And is that kind of the trade name of it? Like if someone went and Googled that, they would find that's the type of practitioner that would focus on that type of breath work.
That's correct. Yeah.
Just give me some other types of breath work.
There's like Wim Hof, which is really popular, right?
Okay.
So Wim Hof, I think, is like 3 sets of 30 with some breath holds. Now, we don't do breath holds in this work. Okay. And, you know, some people have said that this work is, you know, even more profound than Wim Hof. I love Wim Hof work too, you know. Yeah. Then there's holotropic and rebirthing, and, you know,
So there's all different, it's like working out, right? There's everybody's got a different concept or idea or methodology.
Okay. It's like an umbrella term, right?
Yeah.
Like fitness is an umbrella term.
Okay, cool. So walk me through just like say it again, the conscious.
What we say, circular breath work.
Circular breath work. Okay. So walk me through like what does a session of that look like? Just, you know, simplistically.
Okay, well, I prepare the space for everybody. So I have 2 locations, And so you're laying on a mat, and I'm playing really groovy music, just music that you listen to every day. But I formulate my playlist on lyrics, and there's a buildup that happens. There's an emotion with music too.
Mhm.
And then I'm, prompting you, saying really positive affirmations and pushing you and guiding you and motivating you to keep going. And what happens is it's called transient hypofrontality. And that's where the front part of the brain, where your ego sits and your monkey mindset, can quiet down.
Okay.
And then this is where the magic happens, is where you can dive down into more inner guidance.
Okay.
So I tell people that you can come with an intention, but that's not always what your body wants to release. It's wild what happens. That's that flow state.
Okay. So you're not even sure what's going to happen, like what's going to come out or okay. Gotcha.
So with my experience was, I used to surf, and when I was a teenager, I almost drowned surfing, but I didn't think anything of it. I mean, like I love water skiing and the pool and swimming, and never gave it another thought. Well, in my breathwork journey, that reared its head big time for me.
Oh, wow.
So it's crazy what can get stuck in your nervous system. We keep pushing things down, and we're carrying around the past, or, and we don't even know it, So then you clear that out. And then after a session, you feel lighter and calmer. So let me just go back. So you're laying on the mat, I'm playing this music, I'm prompting you. And then, all this motivational stuff in class. And then there's a part where there's a gong, and we hit the gong and we yell as loud as we can. And that really clears out the rest of anything in your nervous system.
Okay.
And then I have these beautiful moments at the end where I'm filling you up with love and gratitude and forgiveness. And then, it's a really beautiful session. Yeah.
I love that. And so during your first introduction, when you went as the participant, you had this moment of that brought back the memories of when you almost drowned.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So, I mean, can you describe that for me? Was it like, because, I think people have thoughts sometimes where I was like, oh, I remember when that happened. I feel like it was probably more than that.
Yeah, it was more than that. Yeah. And going through the breath work, that critic in your mind, it's really hard to quiet down sometimes. So,
yeah.
So while I was leading up to that, it was like, I always think of this critic as this other girl, right? And she's in the passenger seat, and then I tell her to get in the back seat. And most of the time I'm telling her to get out of the car.
Right.
She's not going along for the ride. So I had to keep telling myself, stop it, Susan, just keep going, keep going. Well, then, it was.
Were you trying to talk yourself out of the experience?
Yeah, because the brain doesn't want to do hard things.
Okay,
right?
gotcha.
So,
okay.
You're breathing in this circular pattern, and the brain is, wants you to put you into, keeps you busy, right?
Totally. Okay.
So then for me, it just, that image came up of that day of surfing and what that felt like. And I just kept breathing through it. And, and then I just felt like it just like left my body, and I felt so much lighter and freer. Oh, cool. And now that I've been doing breath work, on a regular basis, I have to say that I am so much calmer and more compassionate towards like family situations that happen, or just kind of meeting people where they're at. And yeah, it's been really transformational for me.
That sounds super cool. I can see it in you. I mean, you seem really, really happy. And like you said, I think light and airy would be like the words I would use to describe you. I've never done this type of like circular breath work. I think I've probably done like a couple of like maybe the Wim Hof-y type stuff. Like where, you're just like taking deep breaths and holding and then releasing and all that type of thing. And what I realized about myself is that I hold my breath. And I think because the last time I was doing it was at an event, this was like a 7-minute little thing. It wasn't like a full, session, but I realized that when they were telling me to breathe or to do the breaths, like my natural reaction was to actually not breathe.
Yeah.
There's got to be something brain connection to the lung, you know what I mean? Like all of that process, but I just found that to be profound. Like I wasn't breathing as if I thought would be really normal to breathe.
Yeah, I know sometimes people are like, oh, you're going to teach me how to breathe. I've been breathing all my life, but we don't realize that we do shallow breathe, and that
Yeah.
causes stress and anxiety and depression. And, when you can really take some deep breaths, you can clear all that out.
Yeah, I've really noticed that. I've tried to, I mean, obviously this is not breath work, but this is me just in the morning when I get up, like really trying to be conscious of like filling my lungs with oxygen, like, really taking deep breaths. It's more challenging than you would conceptually think it would be. You're like, oh, you're just gonna take a deep breath. But it's like, if you take multiple deep breaths, in the same rhythmic pattern, you're right. Your brain is like, this isn't normal. And it almost like tries to shut you down. It makes it like really challenging. So once you push past that, do you find that, I was going to say, I'm going to say something stupid. Everyday breathing is like more is better. Like you're able to pull more oxygen into your lungs naturally.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, typically we want to breathe through our nose, right? Like,
Right.
and I think it teaches you to do more diaphragmatic breathing.
Okay.
So, and then when you find yourself getting a little bit more anxious or something, and then taking it, just kind of is a reminder to take more deep breaths, and that you calm yourself down.
Would it be diaphragmatic versus belly breathing? Are those like the two types of things people are doing?
So our breath is 85% into the belly, and that's your grounding breath, and then into your chest, and then there's a surrender or an exhale that happens.
Okay.
All through the mouth.
Yeah, I've never really dove really deep into the breath work, but everything that you read is, I mean, with oxygen, right? It's everything. Like it sounds stupid to say, but like the more oxygen we have in our body, in the better concentrations, the better our life is going to be, the absence of disease and all of those types of things. So it's super, super healthy, super beneficial. So the session, you get the room set up, the gong, we're breathing, we're doing all this. How long is a normal average session
it
for
takes
this?
about an hour and a half. You're breathing for a good half an hour like that. And then, I read a poem in the beginning. It's really nice. And then I go around and I'm doing energy work with each person. That's in my smaller classes. The smaller groups are a little bit more intimate, where I can do that, where then I can balance your neurovasculars and get your body more into a homeostate, and you're getting more in touch with your body, right? So, breath work, it's teaching you self-care and self-love. And when you have that, you start aligning things in your life, that align with that, right? Like you don't put up with things anymore, right? Because that's not really what's aligning with when you start loving yourself.
Yeah. I think there's probably a disconnect there for most people. We just think of breath as this is what I do, right? It keeps me alive. It's, it's necessary, but we don't make the connection between our breath and our conscious being, or our alignment, and our, all the really, I was going to say really important stuff. Obviously, oxygen, breathing, staying alive is key, but there's a lot more to it than that. It goes way, way deeper.
Well, sorry.
No, you please go.
Like, it's like the most important relationship you have with yourself, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the first thing you do when you come in. It's with you in hard times, bad times, great times. It'll be with you till the end of time. So yeah, it's the most important relationship that you have with yourself.
Now, during your training, obviously they're teaching you the methodology of the process, but how is the other stuff, like the deeper stuff kind of incorporated into that? Is it like you kind of go at your own pace? Like, hey, this is kind of what I'm noticing.
Yeah. It's like, I always say, it's like an onion, right? You're peeling layers. Sometimes people have this big experience and they crack open the first time, and other times, it takes time, all that stuff didn't get there in one day. Right.
Yeah.
So, sometimes it's, peeling off those layers. Yeah.
Is there
so many people were dragging around the past, and it interferes with our relationships and our goals and our creativity, and if you clear that out, it's so transformational, Jay.
Absolutely. I see it in the work that I do, is that, people come to me for weight loss or some kind of transformation. And we would love for it just to be about the food, right? That would be so simple, right? We would love for it to just be like, oh, you should just move more. Like that would be so simple, right? Like you've been doing this for a long time too. You know exactly what I'm talking about. but it's not until you really crack into the actual reasons that we're struggling, right? And so I think that breath work is just added on another modality that can really get somebody to experience all the beautiful side effects, which would be weight loss, which would be better relationships, which would be, just a better relationship with yourself. And so I think that's amazing. That's really cool.
I had somebody say the other day that, doing years of therapy without having to say a word. I mean,
yeah,
how awesome is that? I mean,
totally.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, we're disconnected from a lot of things right now, and we're really disconnected from self. And we're actually looking for other things to heal us when actually the thing is really inside of ourselves already, that can be at least begin the healing process, or magnify the healing process, if you will. So it probably doesn't matter what level of your journey you're on, whether you're somebody who's absolutely doing nothing right now, or you're somebody who is, just on a vision quest to be the best version of yourself. I mean, this sounds like it would be perfect for both of those individuals.
Absolutely. From the beginner all the way up. I mean, now they're doing it with professional athletes,
Yeah.
They actually just had a thing on NBC or something about the breath work. And I mean, it's really gaining popularity in corporations. They're doing it for, creativity, so.
Listen, the happier, the healthier, the better that people feel, and all those things. It's all, productivity is, you can't get to productivity unless you're feeling productive and feeling like you're a working piece of the puzzle. So I think that's cool. What would be, is there a prescribed dosage, if you will? Like, I should do this once a week, or I should do this once a month, or is it something you can, like, what's the thing?
Yeah, I have people that come, weekly, but what I teach you, you can start incorporating on your own,
Okay.
10, 20 minutes a day.
Yeah.
But then, come in, at least a couple times a month or once a month for a big session. Cause there's nothing, as as being one-on-one and being coached through and motivated.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah. Perfect. So this has to be like, I mean, let's talk about you. Let's go back to just you and the whole incorporation of all this. I mean, like I said, we both agree that you feel just super light, airy, and happy. How is this transition from, just, I was gonna say just, but like, doing body work for 35 years, doing energy work, to like finding this new piece of the puzzle is like, feels really good, I assume.
Yeah, Jay. I mean, for me, I couldn't even talk about doing the work without crying before. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and sometimes I even crack in class, because I just care so much about people.
Yeah.
And, I just want them to see themselves for what everybody, we never know how great we are. But what is that when you never see how you are, how other people see you, and, giving you the freedom and being able to be filled with gratitude and love, because in the end, isn't that all we need? Everything else is a distraction, right?
Totally.
And with the breath work, it just really puts you into like the present, because Jay, all that matters is this moment.
Agreed.
Right? You and me right now, this is all, every moment you have, it just makes you more present in your life, and just like everything else is distraction.
Yeah. Yeah, that's funny you said that. I've been talking a lot lately about, eliminating the distractions from your life. And this sounds like this is a, for people who struggle with that, or for everybody, for like, this sounds like it would be a great tool to be able to, add to your toolbox, that whenever you did feel overwhelmed, because I mean, life's not going to stop. Like, we're still going to have overwhelming scenarios and situations and stress and all those things. But if you have a tool that you can use, I mean, what better resource than there is that?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's really cool.
It's super gratifying, and then, hearing people's stories afterwards, it's just, yeah, it touches my heart really deeply.
That's so cool. No, I can tell that it's definitely, it resonates with you for sure. And I think it's finding like more pieces and parts of your puzzle, and your purpose is really, really cool. It makes you feel like you're on the right path as well.
Yeah, this hit me like a ton of bricks. And I, like I said, I've been doing body work for 35 years and love it. I love helping people, but how can I create a ripple effect? And this is how I can do it. And
So
I
you're
did, I'm doing Zooms now. And so now I can help, people that don't even live here. So
That was my next question. So what are all the different ways that you are sharing this gift with people? I mean, obviously we're local here in Palm Desert, so you're doing things, one-on-one and group, which we'll talk about at the very end. But what are all the ways that somebody could work with you to do this?
yeah, I have the group sessions, classes, 2 different locations here. And then I have the Zoom, which is, it's good, but of course, nothing like being in person. I mean,
Sure.
but it's still really powerful. And then I have the one-on-one private sessions too, because not everybody wants to do that in public,
Yeah.
But I think when you get out of yourself and realize that we all have stuff,
Oh,
we all
totally.
have stuff. And, we're all there like-minded, there to clear it all out. So
I
there's no
100%
judging or
agree.
anything. It's a great experience.
Yeah, I feel like if you're willing to walk into an experience like that, hopefully you've left your judgment bag at home. I mean, I know you would have to, because it's like, if you can't show up and be vulnerable and be in the moment, like you said, the present, then you're not going to get the true zest and the true value out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Where are your, we're going to link all of your websites and your social media and everything on the show notes, but where are your 2 locations here in the desert?
Well, I'm in La Quinta at Gather Yoga and Wellness.
Okay.
That's in Old Town La Quinta. And then I've just partnered with the city of La Quinta and out of the wellness center there.
Okay.
So,
and so
when
you go to the website, you can differentiate between where those are at, and then you've got your private studio, which we'll link in the show notes.
Yeah.
So if you guys, anybody listening that is a part of my private Thrive Forever Fit Flex group, Suzanne, it's just, you've offered us an amazing gift of you've allowed me to give my members a gift, and so you guys make sure you go check out our private Facebook page. It will be available. This episode will come out before the opportunity, but you've gifted us a free opportunity to experience this.
Absolutely.
That's so cool. Well, I mean, I don't know why you did that, but I appreciate you so much.
Because Jay, what you do for our community and who you are,
Oh,
that's
well,
the least I can do for you. You're incredible. So I'm blessed to be able to have a gift that I can give to you, and then you can give to your people.
well, the feeling is mutual. You have always been a massive supporter of mine from the day one, and my books and any and everything. So I'm grateful for you. And I just want to say thank you for always just being who you are and always treating me like I was,
you're my brother.
Worthy. I appreciate you. I feel the same way. Like whenever I was watching your journey, because when you first started on social media, you weren't really telling us what was going on. It was kind of like this quiet thing. And I was like, well, I know something's happening, but I don't know what it is. And so I just kept watching and kept, watching it evolve and expand. And I just want you to know that it was so cool to watch it from the beginning and just to know you for so long. And I think this is a beautiful part of your journey that you're going to be so successful doing.
Thank you. Yeah, it's I'm a pretty private person, but then I realized that being vulnerable is really the way to go, right?
Totally.
And just put it out there. This is who I am. This is me.
Listen, people think I'm crazy when I say I am an introvert like you would not believe. And so what I have to do is the same thing. I have to say, okay, like you can be an introvert and nobody can, not talk to anybody and do all those things, or you can get over yourself and, try to help as many people as humanly possible. So I kind of just put my introvert side, on the side, and I just show up and try to help as many people as possible.
I was just going to say, you have to show up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's playing small isn't where it's at, right?
And when you're passionate, and when you're passionate and purposeful about it, it makes it so much easier, because it's like you're not even showing up because I'm one of those people, like I would love it if nobody even had to know who I was. They were just able to know like what I did. And so I think when the message comes through you like that and the purpose comes through you, it's like you're just giving people a gift, right? And so I think that's the cool thing about that.
And I'm human and I make mistakes and I stumble in class and
oh gosh, if you've ever met me, guys, I mean, you talk about mistakes. I mean, I can't say the right words. I mean, if anybody can make a mistake, it's me. So you trust me, that people will get over that. I think when they see your authenticity, which you're one of the most authentic people that I know, you could stumble and fumble off of anything and nobody will care.
You know what? It's like that whole, are you enough and all, and
Yeah,
just, we're so hard on ourselves,
totally.
and you don't have to be.
Yeah. You're
Especially
more,
when you have a
you're
tribe, right? And you
totally.
can band together and
You're more than enough. You're absolutely more than enough. So tell us, give us the website, give us your social media. It's all going to be in the show notes, but sometimes people like to audibly hear it. So what's the web? How can people find you super simply?
yeah. So elementsinthedesert.com is really where everything's at. All the bookings and my store and all that, diving into, there's some articles there about breath work. And then I just started the Instagram, Elements in the Desert. There's not too much.
That's okay.
And then the Facebook too. So Elements, Breath and Bodywork. So
well, I am ridiculously proud of you, and I'm grateful for you. I'm happy that you're doing this because I can see the happiness coming out of you. And when somebody's living on purpose and in passion, it lights me up and gets me excited to go do more. So thank you for being a part of my world and my life and allowing me to be a part of yours.
Thanks, Jay, so much. Appreciate you.
All right. Thanks for coming on the show. I'll see you in a bit.
All right. Thanks so much.
Hey, before you go, I'd just like to say thank you again for listening to the Thrive Forever Fit podcast and watching on YouTube. It means the absolute world to me. And if you would do me one favor, and that is simply subscribe and review this podcast on whatever platform it is that you enjoy it on, YouTube, Apple, Spotify, doesn't matter. I would absolutely be so grateful and so thankful if you do that for me. Thanks again for listening, and I'll see you again next week with an awesome, awesome episode. Bye.